Okay, so a lot of you are probably wondering, you guys probably asked, why have you started making videos again? I'm just kidding. No, probably nobody asked. I don't think anyone really cared. Maybe a few people would have probably asked, but for the most part, I wasn't making videos on YouTube for a while. I had like some edited videos. I had an editor and stuff like that, but overall, I just I kind of stopped for the last like few months or so, and then I just randomly showed up. So it didn't really happen like that. I didn't just randomly show up, but I've been depressed. Not depressed. I don't want to say depressed, but I've been down since last year, like October. And just for context, I traveled last year, 2023, in September. And before that, in August, I was kind of really locked in. I was drinking my mate. I was making content. I was making videos. And I was kind of going a little bit of the influencer route, just trying to make videos around like just random things. But there was really no direction in what I was doing, honestly. There was really no direction. I was just making videos about jerseys. I was making videos about mate. I was making videos about literally everything. And it was kind of all over the place. So what happened there was I traveled for the month. I like traveling. I went to a couple games. And of course, every time I travel, I always feel like I get a new perspective, as people would say. But for the most part, when I go travel, I just feel, I feel like I gain a new perspective. And at that time, I was working on a project. We launched it, and that's kind of what was in my mind. But some setbacks happen, and we had to recalibrate. We had to restructure a little bit. And from October that month, with the month that I came back, I started to feel a little bit depressed. And I've always had my mix of mental health and stuff like that, but this time it wasn't really just mental health related. It was more like I was unhappy with the way that just things were going for me. I was heavily reliant on everyone else at that point. I've always been pretty self-sufficient. Like I usually don't ask for things. Like that's not, I just usually don't. But at that point I realized that at that time I was self-sufficient on everything else, and other projects working out for me. And that made me realize that what, you need to do something for yourself, and you really need to figure out what you want to do. At the same time too, still do the other projects, but focus on something that you yourself, that that you can do, and that you'll be proud of. So what happened there, when I did that, I started running, right? So running was a big one for me. I started running. I set a goal to run a half marathon. Like my goal is still to run a full marathon, but at that point my goal is to run a half marathon. And I remember in November, December, the mood I had, the feeling I had, it was like, it was kind of like anger. Like it wasn't, I don't want to say anger, so I wasn't mad, but I was like, it was this like distraught, disappointed in myself that I wasn't doing something for myself. And as a man, sometimes you get to this stage where you feel like you're not living to your full potential. And that's what I felt. And anytime I feel like I'm not living to my full potential, that's when I feel depressed. So that's why I started running. And then I hit the first milestone that I hit was the half marathon. I think it was on January 1st. I think that's what it was, this year, 2024. And the reason why I was running, and the reason why I was setting these targets for myself, was at that point I lost belief in myself. I didn't believe in myself. I literally lost belief in myself. I told myself, you know what, I can't do this. And I really need to believe in myself. In the projects that I was working on, we kept trying, and it was constant miss, constant miss, constant miss. And I attributed a lot of my success to that project. And that's why I needed to prove to myself that you yourself, you can do it. Whatever you set your mind to, you can do it. And that's why I need to work on my own personal project. So at the start of the year, I wrote down everything that I wanted. I wrote down potential things that I can do for myself. Obviously, while still working on the other projects, because I still am engaged with them. But I just needed my own personal project. I saw how passionate everyone was about their own projects, and I didn't have anything for myself. So, the start of the year came and I was still running, but there was a spin. There's a tint of time where I injured my ankle and I couldn't run for, I think it was like 3-4 weeks. So at that time, I was still going to the gym. I was rowing at that time, and I think I was doing some battle ropes, I think, but I was mainly rowing, but it wasn't the same. And I remember I was just feeling down. I just couldn't, I had no purpose again, right? And what happened was I decided, you know what, let's go to the library, because the library is some place that I go to sometimes, just to get the work done. I like coffee shops, but I can't spend money on coffee every single day. And, it's like, I like the feel of a library. I don't know what it is. Like something nice about the library. Maybe it's because the book's around, but I go to my local library every now and then. I usually go like once or twice a week, just to kind of like lock in and just do deep work. Nobody bothers you there. You're just there, you're doing your thing, and it's meant to be a quiet place. So I was going to the library, and then one day I took like a personality type of question thing, whatever. I did that, and then after that, for some reason, at some moment, I stumbled into like a blog website, like building a blog website. And then I was like, oh, you know what? This kind of makes sense. You like to write. I'm not like a speaker or anything like that. Yes, I do make videos, but like, I'm naturally like, I'm an introvert. So I don't talk a lot. Like, I don't go out a lot in terms of like, I usually stay home. I'm a homebody. So that course made sense. And then that course, I think it was like $300, like USD, or something like that. But I paid, so I bought the course. It was before Ramadan time. Now I have a online background, so that's what I do. So I built my website in like a week. It was super like straightforward. I just did it myself. I've built a couple lanyards now, so I did that. I set up my ConvertKit email list. I set up my first my first blog, and I was just figuring out. I even set up the Amazon affiliates, and I just started to figure this out. And then I started to write my first ebook, which I have, and it started to make sense. But obviously, I got married in May, so I was just Ramadan came the previous month, and I got married in May. So for the next 2 months, it was kind of like just figuring that stuff out. And then what happened was I came back, and then I told myself, you know what, now I'm going to release a blog every single week. So I think starting from June or end of May or something like that, I've been putting out blogs every single week. Like every single week I've been putting out a blog every Monday. And as I was doing it, I started to make videos again. And then I said, you know what, why don't you tell people to check out your Calendly link? So I quickly made a Calendly link, and I said, if you want some coaching, check out the link down below. All right. So that's what I did. And then when I did that, it was like, what I did is I archived a lot of my videos, my YouTube videos, and I decided to make it more purposeful and more like catered around self-image. But I realized you're more into fitness. So that's why I changed it into fitness. And then from there, I kind of changed the brand. I rebranded a little bit there. And then I went back to France in July. And then when I went to France in July, again, like I was still trying to figure this thing out, because I was trying to figure this out. Like I really, really wanted to figure this out. And randomly, again, like I said, I stumbled into online fitness, like business coach, right? And I really resonated with it, right? Like every morning I'd watch the videos, and I was like, man, this is what I need. So I knew exactly that this is what I needed, and I needed to join the coaching program to get to this point. And that's, as soon as I got back here, I was hesitant. I was like, no. But I think I somewhat applied. I think one of the type I didn't fully apply, but I got reached out to, and then I talked to the sales team. I talked to the first lady. She was very nice. And I talked to the second person. And then, we figured it out. And then we figured out like, the payments, stuff like that. And then, yeah. And then this is kind of where I'm at right now. I'm learning how to scale an online fitness business, which is funny because it was what I was doing back in 2021, but I decided to take a step back from it to focus on other things. I had an opportunity that came in and I took advantage of that opportunity. And 3 years later, here I am kind of back again to where I was back in 2021, except with a different perspective. I'm a whole different person. I have a lot more experience. The online world, I understand the online world a lot more. I built some decent connections. So that's kind of what it is. And the end of now for the end of the year, just transparency. Like I'm not gonna say everything, but I'm hoping to really like scale this to a point where like it's feasible. And at least by the end of the year, with the New Year's resolutions people, that's when when things start to really pop off. I want to pop off before that, but of course I'm gonna be figuring that out. So another thing I did, I'm looking right now, I had a whiteboard. So I have a whiteboard when I came back from France the first time in May. I have by September 1st and by December 1st. So I'm looking by September 1st. There's a lot of things I did not do there. But by December 1st, I'm pretty sure I can do it. I'm going to probably retweak it. But yeah, the reason why I'm making this video is, as I'm doing this, I'm figuring it out. And it's probably always going to be like this. But what happened like back in like October and like December and like May and then July, like these things, they were all like an accumulation of like different things. Like I have a website now. I have to figure out my blog. Like there's something like going on with my blog where the text is a little bit off. So I need to talk to Bluehost and figure that out. If we fixed it and then like it came back again, the issue came back. So I have to figure out what that is, some hosting thing. But besides that, like certain things happen, right? Like I started the year by doing a half marathon. And then in May, before Ramadan, I built my website. I did the affiliates, right? I've seen the spikes in affiliates, right? Like I'll be honest, I haven't seen sales from it yet because I'm not too sure about Amazon affiliates. I'm trying to understand it. But there's moments where I get a lot of traffic and then there's moments where I just don't get any traffic at all. So I have to figure out why that is. But I'll say that's not really my main priority. I want to make income off other things, right? And then my ebook, I wrote a whole ebook, right? I have an ebook now. Like it's not the best ebook. It's not like I'm gonna keep refining it. This is my first edition. That's what I wrote, but I have an ebook, and it's just like all these things have come together simply because I took the step to figure it out and try to achieve something. I don't know if I'm gonna succeed in it, right? Like right now, my biggest obstacle is self-belief. Like I need to believe in myself. I think last year I got to a point where I lost belief in myself. Typically I'm a very delusional person in the sense that no matter what happens, I'm always gonna go after it. And I'm still like that. I'm relentless. I'm that type of person. I'm resilient. That's the word I give myself. I'm very resilient. But right now, I'm currently resilient, but I don't believe in my resilience. So that's part of the reason why I did get just a business coach to kind of help me get back to where I was. Because there was a point in my life where I was at a really good place where I was full belief in myself. It was like it was in the photography space. I was doing really, really well in the photography space. And I was just getting hired, just people reaching out to me. That was the point, people reaching out to me, right? And then I took a step back from that. I deleted that page that I created. And I just had to find my way again. And fitness was a big one. This project that we're working on is a big one too. But having my own personal project that I can work on, like just consistently, I believe in the project. At the moment, I just don't believe in myself. That's the biggest issue I'm having right now. If there's any books you guys recommend, let me know. It's more of just a mindset thing, right? Like that's why, like I said, that's literally why I got a online a business coach, because I need to believe in myself, and I know if I do believe in myself, I will see results. But until then, like I need to just lock in and dial in. It's August 17th today, and I just need to dial in, and that's going to be my goal. I've been working on this pretty much almost every single day, just figuring out, staying consistent, just building this. And there's moments where I just feel discouraged naturally. There's moments where I just be sitting there and like, man, I'm not progressing. But every single day I'm doing something. And some days I see a little bit more of a spike. Some days I don't. Like when I see someone I reached out to that is a good connection for me. I'm like, yo, this is a win. You know, when I see someone like my post that I don't know, that's a win. When I find my systems of posting online consistently without me burning out, that's a win. I need to count these wins and I need to go after what I want. And that's the only way that I'm going to succeed. So anyone, maybe you're watching this and maybe you're trying to find your way. Honestly, you just have to start. Like I keep saying this over and over and over again, but like I probably sound like a broken record now. You have to start. Once you start, you'll like find ways, and then there's gonna be moments. There's gonna be opportunities that are gonna come your way, right? Like for me, blogging came, right? The run came, right? The obviously travels and stuff like that came as well. I went to Mallorca. That was kind of, I guess you can say that was kind of an opportunity game. I went to the Mbappe game. That was another opportunity that just came my way. I took the opportunity. I took the online fitness, like business coaching, right? And that kind of came my way. I took the opportunity. This year I've been taking more and more opportunities, and I've taken a step back from a lot of other things, that like other projects, you know, part-time jobs. I've taken less hours to focus on what I'm doing, in the hopes that I can make this, what I'm doing, my main thing, and then everything else. Because if my main thing succeeds, then it will make me more excited to work on other things. But right now, my main thing, I can't tie my main thing to someone else's project. I'm still passionate about it. I still have like the feeling for it, but I'm not a founder of that project. And I'm not talking about like just one specific project. I'm just talking about in general, you know, family business, maybe a friend. It could be where I make my money. It's a lot of different things, right? Because people always need help. People always need things like that. And yeah, so that's a big one. So that's really what I want to share, why I started making videos again and how all this came about. I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm seeing progression. Like I see, like I get like one or two like at least one subscriber a day. I average a new subscriber every single day as of right now. I've seen, since I've started like really taking this seriously. And on TikTok, I've seen my videos. They went from 200, now they're averaging about 700 views. My Instagram is still in the works, but I do see like profiles, and maybe it's someone that's just running it for, maybe it's a VA, but I do see profiles that I follow that start to engage with my content. Even online fitness coaches that start to engage with, they know that I'm an online fitness coach, but they're just engaging with my stories. So these are all wins. But yeah, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about, because honestly, like I'm still figuring it out, and I hope you all figure it out too. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the next 4 months. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like online fitness coaching or you're interested in it. Check out the link down below. We'll hop on a quick 30-minute call and see if it makes sense to work together. And yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Don't forget to stay authentic. Peace.